There is a woman in Matsumoto, in the mountains of Nagano, who is 71 years old. She sleeps about 7 hours a night. Not 9, not 10, 7. And every morning, a few minutes past 5, her eyes simply open. No alarm, no grogginess, no dragging herself toward coffee. She is awake, clear, and rested, in a way most people 20 years younger have not felt in decades. Meanwhile, somewhere else right now, someone is getting 9 hours of sleep and waking up exhausted. They go to bed early. They stay in bed late. They do everything the sleep advice tells them to do. More hours, more rest, more time. And still, every single morning they wake up feeling like they barely slept at all. Here is the question this video is built on. If more hours were the answer, why does the person sleeping 9 feel worse than the woman sleeping 7? The answer is one that Japan has quietly understood for a long time, and that sleep science has now confirmed. The freshness you feel in the morning is not decided by how long you sleep. It is decided by how deep you sleep, and depth is not luck. It is built, in the hours before bed, by a handful of small habits almost nobody in the West practices. By the end of this video, you will know all 6 of them. Secret number 2 is the single most powerful thing you can do tonight, and it takes place more than an hour before you ever touch the bed. And secret number 6 is the quiet one that makes the other 5 hold. One important thing before we begin, because this matters. This video is not about cutting your sleep short. Adults genuinely need around 7 hours or more, and no habit replaces that. What these 6 secrets change is what those hours are made of, so that 7 deep, efficient hours leave you feeling better than 9 shallow ones ever did. Fresh mornings do not come from more time in bed. They come from better architecture inside the time you already spend there. And that word, architecture, is worth understanding, because it is the key to everything that follows. Sleep is not one flat state. Through the night, your brain moves through repeating cycles, each roughly 90 minutes long, descending from light sleep into deep, slow-wave sleep, rising into dreaming sleep, and back again. The deep stages are where the real restoration happens, where the body repairs, where the brain clears the day's waste, where tomorrow's energy is actually made. A night with generous deep sleep leaves you renewed. A night of the same length with fragmented shallow cycles leaves you hollow, no matter how many hours it contained. So the person sleeping 9 broken shallow hours loses to the person sleeping 7 deep uninterrupted ones every time. The question is never how long were you in bed. It is how deep did your nights go. And depth, it turns out, responds beautifully to 6 small Japanese habits. Here they are. Secret number 1. Fix your wake time and never move it. Not your bedtime, your wake time. The same time, every single morning, weekends included, within 15 or 20 minutes. This sounds backwards. Most people try to fix the front of the night, forcing themselves to bed early, and let the morning drift. Japan's rhythm and the science both point the other way. Your circadian clock, the internal system that decides when you feel sleepy and when you feel alert, calibrates itself primarily off one anchor, the time you wake and see light. Move that anchor around, late on weekends, early on Mondays, and your clock never settles. The body stops knowing when night is, so it never fully commits to it. Sleep researchers consistently identify irregular sleep timing as one of the most common and most invisible causes of unrefreshing sleep. Hold the anchor still, and something remarkable happens within a couple of weeks. Sleepiness begins arriving on its own, at the same time each evening, like a tide. You stop chasing sleep, it starts coming to you, and the morning fog that used to take an hour to burn off begins to thin. Because your body now knows precisely when morning is. 2 things make the anchor stronger. First, pair it with light. Within half an hour of waking, get daylight into your eyes because light at a consistent hour is what actually winds the clock. Second, when you slip, and you will, do not repair it by sleeping in the next day. Repair it by holding the wake time anyway, letting yourself be a little tired that evening and going to bed earlier. The anchor stays down. Everything else adjusts around it. Pick your wake time. Guard it like an appointment you cannot move. That is secret number 1, secret number 2. The bath, taken at the right time. This is the one I told you about, and it is Japan's oldest sleep technology hiding in plain sight. The evening bath, the oforo, is one of the most beloved rituals in Japanese life. But its power over sleep comes down to timing and temperature, and here is the mechanism. To fall asleep, and to descend into deep sleep, your core body temperature must drop. That drop is one of the body's strongest sleep signals. And the fastest way to trigger it, counterintuitively, is to warm yourself up first. When you soak in a warm bath, blood rises to the skin. And when you step out, that warmed blood radiates heat away from the body, and your core temperature falls further and faster than it would have on its own. You are, in effect, opening the gate to deep sleep with warmth. The timing matters. Researchers at the University of Texas reviewed years of studies on this and found that a warm bath or shower taken roughly 1 to 2 hours before bed helped people fall asleep meaningfully faster and improved their sleep quality. Take it too close to bed and your core is still warm when you lie down. Take it in that 1 to 2 hour window and you time the temperature drop to land exactly when your head touches the pillow. You do not need a Japanese tub, a warm bath, or a long, unhurried warm shower, an hour or two before bed. That is secret number 2. And for many people, it changes the first night they try it. Secret number 3. Dim the world after sunset. Walk into a typical home at 9 in the evening and it is lit like noon. Bright, cool, overhead light in every room, telling every cell in the body that the day is still in full swing. Then the lights snap off, and the same body is expected to plunge into sleep on command. It cannot. Melatonin, the hormone that opens the door to sleep, is produced in darkness and suppressed by bright blue-toned light. Keep the house bright until the final minute, and you have suppressed the very chemical you need, right up until you need it. Traditional Japan never had this problem because its evenings were lit by andon, low paper lanterns that cast a dim, warm, pooled light near the floor. The evening grew gradually darker and warmer, and the body followed it down towards sleep, step by step, the way it was designed to. You can rebuild that descent tonight. After sunset, stop using the bright overhead lights. Switch to low lamps, warm-toned bulbs, light that pools instead of floods. Let the last hour before bed be the dimmest of the day. Your body will read the darkness the way it has read it for 100,000 years, as the honest signal that night has come. That is secret number 3. Secret number 4. End caffeine by early afternoon. Most people believe caffeine either affects them or it does not. The truth is quieter and more troublesome. Caffeine has a half-life of roughly 5 to 6 hours, which means the cup you drink at 4 in the afternoon still has half its caffeine circulating at 9 or 10 at night. You may fall asleep anyway. But research has found that caffeine consumed even 6 hours before bedtime measurably disrupted sleep. And here is the crucial part. The sleepers largely did not notice. They slept. They simply slept shallower, with less of the deep, slow-wave sleep that produces a fresh morning. Then they woke tired and reached for more caffeine and the loop closed. In Japan, the heavy caffeine sits in the morning, and the afternoon and evening belong overwhelmingly to lighter teas, or to roasted barley tea, mugicha, which contains no caffeine at all and is poured in homes across the country every evening. The rule is simple: draw a line in the early afternoon, 1 or 2 o'clock, and let nothing caffeinated cross it. Coffee, strong tea, cola, energy drinks, all of it stays on the morning side of the line. And fill the evening the way Japan does, with something warm that carries no caffeine at all. Mugicha, roasted barley tea, is the classic choice, nutty and calming, served to children and grandparents alike precisely because it asks nothing of the nervous system. Herbal teas do the same work. The warmth in your hands becomes part of the wind down instead of working against it. Give the line a week. The difference is not in how fast you fall asleep, it is in how you feel at 6 the next morning. That is secret number 4. Secret number 5. Cool the room. We treat bedroom warmth as coziness. The body disagrees. Remember that deep sleep rides on a falling core temperature? A warm bedroom fights that fall all night long, holding the body just above the threshold where the deepest sleep happens, producing that restless, sweaty, surface-level night that technically counts as sleep and restores almost nothing. Sleep researchers generally point to a cool bedroom, somewhere in the range of 16 to 19 degrees Celsius, around 60 to 67 Fahrenheit, as the environment where deep sleep comes easiest, cooler than feels intuitive. The warmth belongs in the bedding, not the air. A cool room and a warm blanket give the body exactly what it wants. A cold environment for the core to descend into, and a warm shell to rest inside. Traditional Japanese homes, with their thin walls and unheated bedrooms, arrived at this by accident and kept it by wisdom. The sleeping room was always the coolest room, and the warmth was in the futon. Turn the heat down at night. Crack a window in the cold months if you can. Let the room be cool and the bedding be warm. That is secret number 5. And now, secret number 6. The one that makes the other 5 hold. Secret number 6. Give the last 30 minutes to nothing. Here's what the final half hour before bed looks like for most people. A screen, bright and fast, held close to the face. A feed, a show, an argument online, an inbox. Input, stimulation, and light poured directly into a brain that is supposed to be descending. Then the screen goes dark, and the mind, still spinning at full speed, is expected to stop on a coin. It cannot. A mind needs a runway to land. In Japan, the end of the evening traditionally tapers. The bath, the dim light, a little quiet, and then bed. The last stretch of the day is deliberately uneventful, and that uneventfulness is the point. It is the runway. So build one. For the final 30 minutes before bed, nothing with a screen, nothing urgent, nothing new. Stretch gently on the floor. Sit with a cup of something warm and caffeine-free. Read a few pages of something on paper. Lie still and let your attention drift slowly through your body, from your feet upward, noticing and releasing. It barely matters what you choose, so long as it is slow, dim, and closed to the world. If your mind insists on spinning anyway, give it something gentle to hold. Lying in bed, bring your attention to your toes, notice them, let them soften, and move slowly upward, ankles, calves, knees, one region at a time. Most people never reach their shoulders. The practice is old, simple, and quietly effective, because a mind given one slow, boring task lets go of the fast ones. What you are doing in all of it is letting the day actually end before you ask your body to leave it. And notice how this secret completes the others. The fixed wake time set the clock. The bath timed the temperature drop. The dim light raised the melatonin. The caffeine line protected the depth. The cool room invited the descent. And the quiet half hour is the hand that finally lets go. 6 small habits, all pointing the same direction. Not at more sleep, but at deeper sleep. Depth is what you have been missing, not hours. Depth, that is secret number 6. Here is everything in one breath. Wake at the same time every day and never move it. Take a warm bath 1 to 2 hours before bed. Dim the whole house after sunset. Let no caffeine cross the early afternoon. Keep the bedroom cool and the bedding warm. And give the last 30 minutes of the day to quiet, screenless nothing. 6 secrets. None of them cost anything. None of them ask you to sleep less than your body needs. Together, they take the hours you're already spending in bed and quietly change what happens inside them, from shallow and fragmented to deep and whole. And here is what people notice after a few weeks of this, and why the title of this video is not the trick it might have sounded like. They do not force themselves to sleep less. They simply find they need less time in bed to feel fully restored, because so much less of the night is being wasted. The 2 extra hours they used to spend tossing, surfacing, and lying groggy in the morning quietly returned to their life. Nothing was cut. The waste was removed. That is what efficient sleep actually feels like, and it is the closest thing to found time an adult ever gets. That is the entire difference between the person who sleeps 9 hours and wakes exhausted, and the woman in Matsumoto who sleeps 7 and wakes at 5 with her eyes simply opening, ready. She has never read a study on sleep architecture. She has never heard of a half-life. She takes her bath, dims her lamps, drinks her mugicha, sleeps in a cool room, and wakes with the light exactly as she has for 50 years. The science finally caught up to her. It usually does. Now, before you close this, I want to ask you something and answer it honestly. Which of these 6 is the one your nights are most missing? Is it the wake time that drifts across the week? The bath you save only for special evenings? The bright lights you keep on until the final minute? The afternoon coffee you swear does not affect you? The bedroom kept warm as a nest? Or the last half hour you hand every single night to a glowing screen? Drop the number in the comments, 1 through 6, because naming the one thing you will change tonight is the first real step toward a different morning. And someone else reading your comment may see their own nights in it and decide to change theirs too. If this changed how you think about sleep, share it with one person who is always tired no matter how early they go to bed. The answer they have been looking for might not be more hours at all. Take care of yourselves. I will see you in the next one. This content is for general well-being and lifestyle inspiration only. It is not a substitute for advice from a qualified medical or health professional. If you experience ongoing sleep problems, please speak with a doctor.